Class 2, Division 1, Cases of Chronic Alcoholism, accompanied by other symptoms and occurring during the period of excessive indulgence. EB Case 9, age 41, a tailor, admitted on the 18th of October, 1858. Has been addicted to hard drinking for the last 20 years, and takes an average of 4 or 5 pints of porter and 2 or 3 glasses of gin daily, but has drunk repeatedly as much as a gallon of beer in the day. Has been intoxicated occasionally, though not severely. Has suffered from ill health for 12 or 13 years. For the last 8 years, his appetite has been very deficient, and feels a constant pain in the stomach, which is increased after meals, and is attended with sickness, especially in the morning. Has had a bad cough for the past 3 months, complains of shortness of breath, and has suffered from acute pain in the region of the kidneys, which, however, he feels now much less than formerly. Sleep very restless and disturbed by dreadful dreams. Occasional headache and constant giddiness, muscae volitantes, and now and then dimness of sight. Occasional hallucinations, especially at night when falling asleep, and is subject to trembling. On the 25th of October, having derived little or no benefit from the treatment adopted, I prescribed for him 2 grains of oxide of zinc to be taken twice a day. This dose was increased to 6 grains on the 29th. He gave up attending from the 1st of November, and on that day I took the following note of his state. Is now very much troubled by his cough, though he sleeps more comfortably at night. Sickness diminished, still trembles a little, but less than before. Pain in stomach not so acute. This patient applied again for advice on the 6th January, 1859. Having drunk 3 pints of porter and a glass of spirits daily since he left the hospital. He was again suffering from symptoms of chronic alcoholism, and was treated as before with oxide of zinc. On the 20th slept well, no more trembling, occasional headache, bad appetite. On the 27th the appetite was improving, he no longer suffered from giddiness, and the headache was but trifling. He then gave up attending the hospital. WB Case 10, age 56, a laborer, admitted on the 2nd of October, 1858. He first contracted a habit of drinking when in France, 26 or 30 years ago. Some years later he returned to this country, and worked in the fields as a laborer for 9 years, during which time he lived a sober life. He afterwards resided at Peckham, and drove a coal van, when he drank from 3 to 6 pints of beer daily, and occasionally a little rum. This he continued doing for 2 years. During the following 9 years he was still employed driving a coal van, although living in another part of town, and allowed himself the same quantity of beer and spirits. For the next 3 years he was employed at a wharf, but was engaged more especially in driving a cart. He then diminished his allowance of stimulants to 2 pints of beer and no spirits. Being employed afterwards at some gas works, he took for 2 years and a half about 3 pints of beer daily. During the last 2 years and a half he has been at work in a brewery, and in the habit of drinking 6 or 7 pints of beer a day, taking but little solid food, being sometimes a whole day without eating anything. He has not often been drunk, and has never had delirium tremens. Within the last year has been very subject to giddiness. When reading he sometimes loses his sight entirely for 5 minutes. He also frequently sees objects double, and is troubled with muscae volitantes. His wife says he has frequently stated during his illness that he saw rats on his bed. Hears a sound of bells ringing, especially in the right ear. A fortnight before applying for relief, this patient was seized with a pain in the right lumbar region, which has continued since then, being at times very acute, especially when he is in bed. Has passed blood in his stools several times. About the 11th of October was suffering from this symptom, although to no severe extent. Complains of pain in the stomach, sometimes very great after meals. Feels very weak, especially in the left leg. Has a cough. WB was first treated for bronchitis and rheumatism, but as he did not improve, I was induced to look still more closely into his case, and then found him to be suffering principally from the effects of long-continued intemperance. On the 28th was ordered to take 2 grains of oxide of zinc twice a day. The dose was increased to 4 grains on the 1st of November, and on the 4th to 8 grains. The following notes were taken on the 8th. Trembling much diminished, no longer any hallucinations or muscae volitantes or noises in the ears. Still complains of want of sleep. 8 grains pulverized, taken twice daily. On the 11th, 10 grains of oxide of zinc were ordered for a dose, and, as he was complaining of his cough, I prescribed our hospital pectoral mixture. A few days after, date omitted, I was now disturbed at night by cough, but no longer from any uneasy sensation and restlessness. as formerly. Has perfectly recovered from the trembling. Appetite is excellent. Takes 2 pints of ale daily and is in very good spirits. Is cured of chronic alcoholism. J.H., case 25, age 27, a shoemaker. Admitted on December 9th, 1858. 18 months ago contracted the habit of drinking to excess, taking 4 to 5 pints of beer and a glass of spirits daily. But during the last 12 months, drinks 3 pints of beer daily and spirits occasionally. Complains of cough and of pain in the stomach, especially after eating. Is in very low spirits and fancies at times that people are wishing to do him some injury. Trembles a great deal, more especially in the evening. Cannot sleep at night, is troubled with ringing in the ears, and black specks flying before his eyes. Much weakness in the knees. Has been frequently drunk, but never had delirium tremens. He began suffering from the foregoing symptoms shortly after taking to hard drinking. The patient was treated at first for bronchitis with cod liver oil and a mixture of iron and quinine, from which treatment he derived little or no benefit. I then discovered he was suffering from the effects of chronic alcoholic stimulants, and prescribed for him, on January 6, 2 grains of oxide of zinc to be taken twice a day. On the 10th of January there was already a marked improvement. The dose was increased to 4 grains. The following note was recorded on the 13th. No trembling, sleeps well, giddiness very slight, complains of cough, especially in the morning, feels much stronger, drinks now very little. I prescribed half an ounce of cod liver to be taken 3 times a day, and 5 grains of oxide of zinc to be taken twice a day. On January 17th, the dose of oxide of zinc was reduced to 3 grains, continued with the cod liver oil, till the 24th of January, when he called at a hospital for the last time. On that day the cough had rather increased, and he occasionally observed muscular twitchings in the fingers and legs. Nothing of the other symptoms remains, but a slight nervous uneasiness and a shooting pain over the right eyebrow. End of section 10.